Okay, I've got another video here today. Um, I was watching a video this morning. It was a review on a Swiss Army knife, and as I was watching the video, I had this kind of moment where they were they were showing all the different tools on the I forget which model it was, and one of them was the Swiss Army pen. And like this is just a personal thing. It's not a criticism. I've never used the Swiss Army pen. I've always had like a separate notebook and a kind of a full size pen and pencil and all that kind of stuff. I tend to take a lot of notes and have a lot of crazy thoughts and stuff like that. So yeah, it just turns out that way. Like I've never actually used the pen on the Swiss Army knife. And I was thinking today, I was like, I think that first of all, I had the idea for modifying it into a pick, into a Swiss Pik. And it's a tool that I happen to use a lot, like a pick. And it's bigger than the pin, right? That comes with the Swiss arm. The pin, it's not quite sturdy enough, and it's not quite thick enough for a lot of the stuff I tend to need a pick for. And the rhymer or the awl in the Swiss arm, the problem is that the one side has a very sharp edge, which is great for certain tasks, but sometimes I just need a pick. A lot of times I just need a pick. And that's what gave me the idea for modifying the Swiss pen into a Swiss Pik. And speaking of my notes here, let me just check my notes here. Make sure I say everything I need to say. Right. I think that this is a great idea for Swiss Army. Like, if anyone knows somebody in the Swiss Army knife headquarters, pass this idea on to them. I think it would be a great option to be able to swap the Swiss pen for the Swiss Pik. I would like to see them actually manufacture one. They could, with most certainty that they could do a better job than the one that I could modify. So this idea, it is for me kind of thing, and I think it's a great idea for them. And it's just one of those tools where you use it a lot. And versus the Swiss pen, you maybe use it periodically or not so often at all. So I think in terms of usability, it would be great to have that option where you could just swap out the pen for the pick, right? And you could still hang on to the pen. In fact, the pen I've had in here, as you can see here, I've got a couple of different Swiss Army knives, but the pen I have it here, I've never used it, and it was still good. Like after, I can't even remember when. I mean, years ago I bought this, and the pen still worked. But today what I did was, just to see if this idea would work, I had to, well, I'll show you in a second here. Let me just make sure I'm finished with my notes here. Yeah, okay, I think I said everything I needed to say. So let's go over this here. So this is where the pen normally is found. But there, I cut off the pen, and then I inserted with some really strong glue. I inserted what it is it's a sewing needle. It's about that long. In there, because that's where the end of that thing goes to. It's like one of the bigger sewing needles. And for anyone who is interested in doing this kind of a mod, the sewing needle is good because it has the hole in the end of the needle, right, to put your thread in, and that'll allow for the glue in there to grab in to that space and secure this really well. That was my logic in that, and this oversized needle just happened to fit in here as well. So that's what it is. That's the pen has now been converted into a Swiss Pik, which fits in there perfectly, just like the pen did. And like I was saying, let me get for comparative purposes. So you can see the difference there with the three of those, right? That's the little pin, the Swiss pin. And you know, it's good for what that's good for. But at the same time, it's not a pick. You know, it's not as sturdy as that, and it's slim, and it's good for certain tasks. And there's the Reimer, the awl, of course. And the problem with that is, first of all, it's a lot wider, and it has a very sharp edge. So it doesn't quite serve as a pick. And that, of course, has many functions and uses as well. But that, I think, is a great idea for the Swiss Army Knife Company to maybe consider manufacturing a pick where it would fit where the pen goes, and you could have the option of purchasing the Swiss Pik and swapping it out with the Swiss pen. And of course, you can still hang on to your Swiss pen and use it maybe if you do use it. But there's an extra tool, and there's an idea for the Swiss Army folks over in their headquarters there, over in the Alps or wherever that they are located. And so, that concludes this video. I think I said everything I wanted to say. And there's my idea for my mod and idea for the Swiss Pik. The Swiss Army Pik. Let's make that clear, because there's lots of other companies out there who go under the name of Swiss, various different companies, but the official Swiss Army Pik, Victorinox, Swiss Army Victorinox Swiss Pik.